Check this out. I just picked up these two brush hogs at the auction. So this one is a real heavy duty 6-footer, which this is the one I wanted. Then this one is a 5-footer that's pretty beat up, but I paid 300 bucks for the 6-footer and 50 bucks for this 5-footer. So I think I did all right. Check these things out here. So this 6-footer, I mean, it's a pretty hefty duty guy here, and it appears to be pretty solid. It's missing the other half of this PTO shaft, so pick one of those up. And it's got the big holes. I guess someone had this set up. I don't know if it was factory or someone added it on, but someone had it set up to run off of category 2, so we got to make that category 1 again. And it's missing a wheel in the back. Then this 5-foot one it's, you know, it's pretty beat up, but the gearbox seemed like it was good. They sent 2 of the same PTO shafts, so I need one that slides into that one. But alright, this thing might be too heavy for that Branson. It was all that thing wanted to pick it up. Let me measure this, see if this is actually 7 foot or 6 foot. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's got exactly a 6-foot cut. So ideally I would like to fix both of these, but I may end up just fixing this one. This one's pretty rough, but I still might fix this one. I didn't even look to see if it had blades under it. Oh, does it have blades? Y'all see any blades? I see 1, 2, yeah, it's got blades. This one's got the regular tractor coupler here, and the big slip disc on it. Yep, she spins. Well, anyways, I'm gonna order some parts for this guy, and then we'll just come back to these whenever. I gotta put some wheels on it. I see these things here. I wonder if this is supposed to have 2 wheels. I might make a 2-wheel thing for it, but it needs to adjust. So I'll brainstorm on that a little bit, and yeah. Then we will just come back to this when I get to it. Now there's 3 of them. So what happened with this one was, I was delivering a load of wood to the buddy I sell wood to, and we somehow got talking about brush hogs, and he's like, hey, I got a 5-footer back there if you know anybody wants it. So then I ended up with it, and I paid $200 for this one. So it's a 5-footer just like this one. The problem with this one is it's got a crack right here in this gearbox, which we might be able to fix that, because this one's got a whole different style gearbox, although that one might be heavier duty. But this one has a solid frame on it. Here it is all cleaned up. There's no rust holes in this one. It's good and solid, so it's nice. But yeah, I seen it is cracked on this side and over on this side, here to here. It's been previously welded. Then actually this side hasn't broke all the way through yet. This side was welded and then broke all the way through. So we might just try and fix this one. Not like it's tight, but I don't want to smell gear oil. Don't you just love that smell of gear oil? Woo. All right, so I made the executive decision. We're putting that gearbox on this brush hog. Plan is to cut this guy right here and here, and then back here and here, take all this crap off, and then make it work over here. Get to it. All right, I got what I needed, which was the gearbox. And since this thing is scrap, in my opinion, I mean, there's some usable metal there, but not much. Then I saved the 3-point in case we have any future projects come along. There's a 3-point setup, and save the wheel and the bracket for it. So I don't know, though, maybe I should save some of that flat metal that's not rusted. I don't know, that side's pretty thin. This side's still got a little meat on it. Yeah, I think it's just scrap. Now we get to working on this. Where that mounts down flat, I'm gonna cut this little raised up hump off of here. Probably back to in here, just enough so the wide part of them brackets clear it. So I might set it down, lay it on here, and mark it out. I think these things gotta come off, so let's get to doing all that. So I was going to cut this little center plate out, but I decided that I'm just going to cut some slots in it so this metal sits down on this, because that's under it to like right there. So that'll sit down on that, and then back here will sit down. Then I'm going to cut these even, and just this bracket's just going to be tied to this one and come up to this one, and of course welded to this the whole way. So I got to grind all that crap off of that one. But I think that's going to work pretty good. I was welded on here, so that turned out pretty good. I had some gaps that I just threw a little bit of plate around, and then back in there I didn't even bother welding. But it's solid weld on the bottom and on the top all the way around. I skipped in a couple of spots, but I really don't think that sucker there is going anywhere. Now I need to paint this thing, but before I do that, I kind of want to try it out. So I'm gonna see if I can get it back together, and I want to take this big collar off right here. It's got this big collar and then the smaller shaft, because on that PTO shaft it takes a smaller one. But I think it's rusted on here pretty good. So yeah, I guess I'll mess with that and see. These bars, I think will actually work with that. I might have to bend that a little bit around that bolt. But, of course, that'll come over. See, I think that'll actually work pretty good. And that's probably, just by looking at it, I'm sure that's a bigger gearbox. What is this? But I can't find a tag or numbers on it, so I don't know what it's actually rated for. But it looks a lot heavier duty than the other one we took off. Plus, I think the way it mounts like this will be a lot stronger in a twisting motion, because it has to twist all this. So, I don't know. Anyways, I probably should make sure it's got oil in it too. So, let's get all this done, and maybe we'll try it out. This PTO shaft is seized together like really good, so I got an idea. Did it move? I think it moved. Yeah, it did. Finally. Whew. I'm done fighting with this thing. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't already have that broke loose. That thing was stubborn. We're out of grease. Hang on. Let me guess, it won't take grease. Never. Do they make an end for a grease gun that doesn't absolutely suck? If they do, please let me know. See if we can get this grease fitting changed. And then find something to pick all the crap out of it with. I guess that old grease gets real hard and nasty. Actually, though, it don't look bad in there. Okay, should be this one here. No. Evidently, this is an odd size that I do not have. So we'll take it off and change the little part with the check valve on it. Or we might not. There we go. Maybe now we can force some grease through this thing. Oh yeah, it took grease. But no matter what, it always leaks around the fitting. I need I don't know anyone that makes a good one of these. You can just work that back and forth. Too much. Now, I always use a low grade bolt on these shear bolts. I think this is grade 2. I know some people will put grade 8s in them and then wonder why stuff gets tore up. Alright, I guess that's the right size. I'm going to put some Loctite on this. See if that makes any difference. This wheel right here was broken in the center, so I got it set up. I'm gonna lift up on it, weld that guy as close to straight as I can. Not a big deal if it's off a little bit. I could have done this after I hooked it to the tractor, but I'm already right here doing it, so. All right, I'm turning on and make sure it doesn't have any grease. I'm gonna see if I can get this patch of briars right here. The way the heel contours, I can't get with my little tractor, so should be a good test. I can just cut them back by hand. Yeah, that stuff just aggravates me right there. I just nicked a little stump over there, and well, the shear bolt did exactly what it was supposed to do. However, I think it's supposed to be a little stronger than that, but that ain't no big deal. I'm going to attempt to sandblast this and prime it. So I found this little sandblaster. I don't know where it came from. It's a Northern Industrial tool. I don't know if that's good or not. I've never sandblasted, but it looks pretty simple. There was already some stuff in there, and I bought some more abrasive for it. So I guess I'm gonna hook up the big air compressor and get it running and see what this thing will do. I think we ran out of sand in here. No, there's still some in there. I wonder if it's just stuck in there. Finally a nice day. Right after I blasted this thing, the weather took a turn for the bad. So here we are, about a week and a half later, and it's nice enough I can prime this thing. So about sandblasting, is that sandblaster I got like not good or something? Because I spent like 4 hours doing this. That seemed a little bit excessive. Or for you sandblasting guys, do I need a bigger compressor? I don't know what the CFM on this guy is, but I mean, it kept about 100, 115 PSI the whole time. Or do you think maybe I need a bigger air supply hose? Or maybe just a better blaster and compressor? I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing more of that because you can get in all the little nooks and crannies, but it just took forever. So, any tips or advice on sandblasting, let me know. So, I'm going to spray some primer on this guy. We should be ready to go try this thing out. But I got one more finishing touch I want to add to this thing. Good. So of course I could have finish mode that. So we're gonna go back there and get some rougher stuff. Let's take a look so we have a good before and after. So here's the log pile. And that just goes back. There's a bunch of stumps in here. It's kind of why it's like that. So, and then over here there's a bunch of thick brush, nothing it shouldn't handle, but here's the same spot. So that looks a lot nicer. I try and do that every so often, but it's nice having a bigger brush hog now. I believe this thing was a success. So one thing I'm a little concerned with is this gearbox is like really hot. I put 80, 90 in it. I wonder if that thing's supposed to run something else. I don't know. The worst part is I don't even know what make the thing came off of. And there's no really tags. There's a number here. 11004. That's all I ever seen on it. So if not, of course it is hot out today, so it might just be hot. But there's a couple spots where like the paint bubbled up. Wouldn't think it'd get that hot. Anyways, that should do it for me. So you guys have a good one, and we'll see you next.